what a way to close it out. For Dave, Brian, Craig, Britt, and all of us here at TSN, thanks for watching our continuing coverage of these 2026 World Juniors. It's off to Minneapolis for Canada and Finland, and we wish you all a very happy New Year.
We now join this program already in progress.
Brady Martin fires it home, and Canada answers right back to retake the lead. "32 seconds later."
What a response from their own end. Control breakout. McKenna hits Martin underneath him. When you have someone who moves like Hage, send it to space. He drives the net, draws two. You see Nieminen get all the way over towards Hage when he stops up to double team him. Valila needs some help. Hage stops it up, and he sees Martin, the guy who flipped it to him to begin with. And that's a backdoor one-timer. No chance of rimping in. Brady Martin will make those count every single time. What a response for Canada.
His second of the tournament, scored in the opener against the Czechs. He's coming off a 3-assist game against Denmark. And so Brady Martin, the Elmira, Ontario native, the Nashville first-rounder, puts Canada back on top. 3 shots on goal and 3 goals in the game here in the first period. Now centered, and that was knocked away from Jasper Kuta. And brought back by Jet Luchenko. Luchenko centered it. That just missed Braden Coots. Lassi Boilius backhands it back down to the Canadian zone as George is out to play it. Back around to Luchenko. Reshnik fires it back down to the finish zone. That's gathered back up by Ruppe Vestorinen. Juho Piparinen. Up after Savanto, that pass broken up by Misa at center ice. Now brought back in by Vestorina. McKenzie. Plays that back in the corner for Misa. Misa tied up, turns that over to Vestorina. He shoots, George the save, rebound, they score! Oliver Savanto fires it home, and the game is tied again.
Savanto, who started the tournament on the first line because Miettinen wasn't playing, now further down the lineup. Michael Misa is not sure what to do. He loses the handle, coughs it up with the middle, and then Carter George, rebound control, not what he wants it to be. Vestorinen puts it on the blocker. George puts it in a spot that is dangerous. Rolling puck, Savanto's able to corral and release upstairs to tie it once again. You would have thought with these two teams, yes, they're good offensively, but they're good defensively as well. To see 4 goals on 5 registered shots right now in under 6 minutes is surprising.
Savanto, projected top 10 pick in the upcoming draft, plays for Tampere Tampere in the top Finnish Pro League. And what a start we're off to here on New Year's Eve. Off the end boards, Desnoyers picks it up. Desnoyers centers a chance for O'Reilly, ripping it down. Makes the stop on that.
It is a track meet similar to the Czechia-Canada game.
Right, the 7-5 game.
7-5 early. And back and forth right now. Both teams in their own end are having a hard time sorting out coverage and assignments. The Misa line's been on for both goals against.
Officially, the shots are 3-2 Canada for the scoring system. They haven't put them up on the scoreboard yet, but off the drop, O'Reilly has that shot blocked by Vananen. And here is Hemming, poked free by Baudouin for the moment. And all settled down by Nieminen. Nicholas Nukari lays that back down. Nukari was +5 in Finland's 8-0 win over Latvia. Baudouin fires it back down to the finish zone, ripping it up to play it. It was knocked down by O'Reilly. Crisscrossing with Desnoyers. He pulls that free. Back at the point, Danford looks down to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly throws that to an open corner. Waiting for it there is Heikki Ruohonen. He was tied up there by Baudouin. Try the other side. This is Arttu Välimäki. And both teams change here. 7 minutes into the second period. Saralainen winds in across the Canadian line. Saralainen just missed there. On the hit by McKenna. Ani Kauto of the Oshawa Generals of the Ontario League. There are several Finns who plays in North America. 7 of them in all. Here's McKenna waiting for it. He takes a chop at that. Martin plays it back around to an open side. Waiting for it. There is Hayes. The Montreal first rounder looks it high in the air. Back to center ice. Love down by Saralainen. Wait for teammates to get back on side and plays it back down to the finish zone. Feel badly for the fans that got here late. George out to play it. Banks it back around. Martin on it. Now pulled loose by Vestergaard, but intercepted by McKenna. McKenna throws out ahead for Reshny. In comes Reshny now. Centers up. McKenna drops it back. And a shot by Brunik. Saved by Rippinen. And he quickly pounces on the rebound. They've been scoring early and often. Zane Parekh open the scoring a minute and 13 seconds in. It's a 2-2 tie between Canada and Finland at the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship.
Paramount Plus is giving you the greatest gift of all. Big stars in big blockbusters. Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Roofman, and Materialists.
Stream Paramount Plus for $7.99 a month.
On a crisp winter night by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why, the Tim's holiday meal. There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Oh, well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
It has been a frenetic start to the game. Canada on their first shot. Zane Parekh off the rush. Scores a goal, busts the camera, 1-0 Canada. Miettinen goes the other way. Finland's first shot, it's 1-1, just as that Brady Martin. Canada's second shot makes it 2-1, and one more for good measure on the rebound. Savanto ties it up. We've seen 4 goals, hardly any shots, and we're just 8 minutes into the game.
Welcome those of you who are watching the United States and Sweden. The Swedes win that one 6-3 to grab first place in Group A. Braden Coots plays it up, Rippinen, now battle in front. Reshny was dumped. The game between Sweden and the U.S. had plenty of stuff after the whistle. Expect more of that here tonight, especially after Canada and the Finns met in the summertime when the Summer Showcase had a very bitter game that the Finns won.
And you wouldn't think that a Summer Showcase game would draw that kind of emotional intensity maybe, but a little poke for the goaltender from Carter Bear always draws a crowd. And Jokinen probably gets away with an extra left in the pile.
Cole Reshny in for the face-off, leads the tournament at 79%. Finns control that draw. Picked up by Piparinen. Also draft eligible and ranked in the top 10. That's batted down by Brunik. Kept alive by Vesterinen. Plays it back in the corner. McKenzie goes back. Now Reshny after it. Leaves that back for McKenzie. Native of West Kelowna, BC, plays for the Edmonton Oil Kings in the Western League. He finds Reshny. In across the line, Reshny drops that back. Coots for Bear, that's taken away. And brought back by Aatu Joki. Jokinen spins that back, and Joki falls behind the finished goal.
Whoops. Those boards will sneak up on you.
Piparinen. Long lead pass for Miettinen. That's broken up by Parekh. Snaps the pass ahead for Martone. He finds Iginla. TJ Iginla works in. Iginla pivots back in the corner. Great move by Iginla. An ankle breaker on the eminent. Iginla Back in for Martone. Feeds it back again. The shot was blocked in front by Nukari. And now Perek back to pick it up. Zane Perek with a rolling puck. Perek looks ahead. Finds Martone, who chips that back down to the finish zone. Nieminen goes back with Misa bearing in on him. Misa trying to work that free for Martone. And Martone comes barreling in. Now back at the line, helped by Danford. Across he goes for Keishon Aitchison. Aitchison back down for Misa. That's picked up by Vananen. Aitchison back at center ice for Danford. Plays that to Martone. And Canada in the midst of a change as Martone works in. Lifts it back down to the finish end, and Martone gets there first. A big collision with the Nieminen. Audouin trying to work that free. The Nieminen chipped it back across, and it's brought back up by Calto. Danford to Aitchison. Nifty chip there. Danford was spilled, and a penalty coming to Finland. In across the line comes O'Reilly. O'Reilly works in. Pivots back in the corner. Extra skater comes on. It's McKenna with a long shot. That was blocked in front. Finally touched up by the Finns. And with 9:33 to go here in the period, Canada's going to get a power play.
See if the referees get together to talk about this one. Calto finished Danford, who was slow to get up.
And they are huddling. John Lindner and Rocco Stahoviak, the two referees. And here is Stahoviak. No announcement yet.
And then coming to make sure it's not a 5 and a review potentially. Haven't been told one way or the other.
We'll find out the call when we come back to the 50th World Junior Championship. Calto with a hit on Danford.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment and stream hit series. Plus, Canadian Crave Originals. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
The PWHL is more than a league. It's a family.
Dedication, unity, anything it takes.
Shared moments.
Shoots and scores!
Shared passion.
The real deal.
No announcement of whether it's a 2 or a 5 or what the penalty might be.
Here we go.
Unlikely a 5 as he's still in the box.
Finland number 18 has a 2-minute minor for boarding.
So you think it's easy to go back and get a puck for a defenseman. Danford goes back straight in, and I'm sorry, that's got to be a 5. Not only from behind, but he drives the head right into the glass. Danford makes no sudden movements. He just hammered him from behind. Finland probably a break. That's only a 2.
Canada 5 for 10 on the power play of the tournament. 5 different goal scorers. Perek works back in, feeds it back across to McKenna. And McKenna drops it down to Reshny. Back for Perek to Hage. Hage centers it, Rippin. Makes the save, rebound, score! Brady Martin again. And Canada's back on top for the 3rd time.
This power play is cooking. Over 50% for the tournament now. Michael Hage, a great decision. Can't quite get it to Brady Martin, but he can get it to the far pad. POP, pass off the pad and let Brady Martin win a battle with Nieminen. Establish his position and gets down to the puck first and harder. to put it past Rimpinen. This has been a tough period for the goaltenders and a good one for the offensive players.
The 6th different Canadian to score on the power play in the tournament. Now 6 for 11. O'Reilly had to leave that puck as Canada had to tag up, so Canada takes quick advantage of the penalty. It takes his 3rd lead in the first 11 minutes of the first period. Hemming plays that back. That shot fluttered wide from Jokinen. Piperinen. Got it there by Desnoyers. Works it free. Piperinen. Moves that back to Jokinen. A shot that flutters high. And now Bannon had to skip by him. In comes O'Reilly. Along with Aitchison driving the middle. O'Reilly drops it off to Baudouin. His centering pass trickles down to Rimpinen and knocks that away.
Desnoyers was wide open on the far side. They just couldn't find him with the puck.
And here is Jokinen with it. Back for Piperinen. Lead pass for Max Vestergaard, a Philadelphia draft pick. And away comes TJ Ginla. Drops it back across to Misa. That shot deflects wide. Martone back on it. Plays it down to Ginla. Order Martone, a long shot. Rimpinen save. And the rebound pulled free by Misa for a moment. Now banked back out by Leo Tuba. He finds Westergaard. The return pass for Westergaard moving in, and George makes the stop on that and hangs on. A penalty coming to Canada. It'll be Ethan McKenzie who goes off, and the Finns will get their first power play with 7:45 to go in the first.
The quick counters are proving troublesome for Canada. McKenzie loses a slight body position. The very speedy Vestergaard stays in front of him, and just it's a quick stick into the hand. Not that one. That one. Little can opener that didn't bother Vestergaard too much, but did not look good. And so Ethan McKenzie heads to the box, and a Finland power play that is 3 for 9 on the tournament goes to work.
Canada's only been shorthanded now 6 times in 3+ games. That was a focus after last year. They were shorthanded 27 times in 5 games.
I heard Frankie talk about the importance of face-off, dominate the dot. Shorthanded Sam O'Reilly right side. Very good at it.
Now drop back to Mattias Vananen. Works it across the line, and Vananen from Mietten. That was knocked down by Bruni. He turns it over. Chance in front. And that shot fired wide by Jesper Kutta. Shot back by Kutta. Boilius. Back to Vananen. Saralainen parked in front. Boilius to Vananen. Works it back to Boilius with a one-time shot. Scores! Lassi Boilius power play goal. The game is tied again.
Carter George is asking for an interference that somebody tipped his glove as he was going to catch it. There's no way that this puck should go in unless something happens to George. He's not really screened. It's a 80-mile-an-hour slapper to the glove hand. Does someone clip George's glove? And that's Saralainen looking for a tip, but that's a goal interference. You'll challenge this. You can't swat the goalie's glove out of the way. Absolutely. The reason why he doesn't reach the puck, hits Saralainen's stick. Is George in the crease when he makes this move? He is. And so that will be challenged by Canada for goalie interference. Great look at it here. Can't hit it if you can't get your hand on it. And George right away calling for a review. He hit my glove. You're right, he did. And it was not Reed's stick. It was clearly Saralainen's stick.
Team Canada has challenged the goal for goaltender interference.
So we'll get a video review. That's Misa Donchkov on the left, getting an assistant coach.
So I'm pretty sure this one won't take long. Boilius is how have that goal taken off the board, and Finland will go back on the power play. As both teams looking for a save. Saralainen actually shuts George's glove as it's trying to open to catch it. So this one should be quick in his crease with his feet. Even if his hand is outside, you just can't make contact in that way. Accidental or not, this one has to come back. And they made their decision quickly to take this one off the board.
After reviewing the play, the call on the ice stands. We have a good goal.
They're gonna say, I think, that he touched the glove after the puck went in the net.
That's ridiculous. That is, if that's what they're saying, that is preposterous. They might say that his glove was outside the crease, even though his feet were inside. Porter Martone talking to the. I am stunned. The puck is going to be caught. It's a simple save. I'm having a hard time understanding that one.
And so now Canada will be short-handed on the unsuccessful challenge.
The only thing I could think of was the glove out
As
of
a result of the unsuccessful challenge, Canada's assessed a 2-minute minor penalty for delay of game. I
would have thought that one was going to be 100% taken away, as did Carter George's parents. And so what I look like a break for Finland, and we have another tie game. 3-3 in the first. First power play goal against for Canada.
Boilius drops that back to Miettinen. What a first period. Kuta winds back across the top for Boilius. Walks in, has a look. Miettinen drops it off. Now Kuta feeds that back to Boilius. Lots of traffic in front. They slide it back across to Vananen. Saralainen parked in front. Here's Vananen. Walks right in, trying to center it. That was blocked by Danford at the line, held by Boilius. Across to Kuta. Boilius. Or Miettinen shoots. That was blocked by O'Reilly. Here's Miettinen back with it. Drops it off to Vananen. He's got a lane. Miettinen centers it. Bouncing puck. Saralainen had that knocked away by George. Pass blocked by Baudouin. Here's Vananen back with it. Inside a minute to go on the Finnish power play. Vananen down to Miettinen. Saralainen trying to find space in front. They go back the other way to Vananen. Vananen works it across. That shot by Kuta was blocked by Aitchison. Now a centering pass tipped on the goalpost by Miettinen. Saralainen tied up in the corner by Danford. Here's Miettinen back with it. Miettinen walks right out. Feeds it back in front. Bouncing puck. George is down. Kuta works it and shoots. That was blocked by Aitchison. Now Kuta back with it. Fires again. That's blocked by Baudouin and sent down the ice by O'Reilly. And Rimpinen leaves it there for Nieminen. 3-3 the score. Time winding down in this Finnish power play. Leo Tuba tries to wrist that backhand. That's knocked down and moved out by Luchenko. One shot for the Finns in that power play. Canada survives the unsuccessful challenge. Inside 5 to go here in the first period. This game's been up on 2 wheels since it started. Denoyer up to Misa. Denoyer walks in. The play's offside at the Finnish blue line. 4:42 to go in the first period. The Finns came this close to taking their first lead on Canada.
I'm Bowser Jr., and I'm going to be taking my father now.
Hi, I'm Luigi.
It takes ages to build character. From the age of enlightenment to the age of rekindled passion. That's why Gibson's Finest Rare is aged for 12 years. Gibson's Finest, one for the ages.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to get Crave, starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months, and stream the latest blockbusters, Canadian Crave originals, and hit series all in one place on Crave. The last 3 goals scored in a span of 1 minute and 46 seconds.
This game is great. You want to end the year on a bang. Here it is. 3 goals aplenty, penalties, some strange calls, and right where we started, tied late in the first.
Misa wins the face-off back to McKenzie, who fires that back down to the finish end. Shots even at 7. 2 top goalies in the tournament last year in terms of save percentage. We're watching the numbers taking a beating here in the first period. Martone back across to Parekh. And Parekh tied up. Plays that back head. That was blocked by Nukuri. And Nicholas Nukuri brings it back out for the Finns. That pass across, handcuffed at the Jokic. Desnoyers works it back in. Misa's back out there. Desnoyers centers it. That bounced away. Stepping up is Reed to keep it alive. Suvanto. Knocked down by Misa. Plays it back in front, and that's knocked away. And brought back by Vestarinen. Bounces down on George. Verhoff goes back for it. Vestarinen took that away from him. Ruohonen. He watched there by Reed. Pivots back in the corner. Ruohonen plays at Harvard in the NCAA. Plays that back for Jokinen. Mita Jokinen. That's poke check Fredo. Chance now for Martin moving in on Jokinen. Freddie Martin pokes out ahead. And the rolling puck swung away by Rimpinen. Loose for a moment. Almost poked through there by McKenna. And the lead pass was off the skate of the linesman. Saralainen plays it back. Kiparinen. Op-ed for Saralainen. That shot was blocked by Danford. And Danford moves it back around for Aitchison. That puck is picked up by Calto. Chipped back down by Aitchison to the finish zone. Piparinen goes back. An icing call against Canada.
Both goalies trying to settle into this game. Maybe the last sequence for Carter George. Pretty good save with an active stick. Can get him going. And maybe a good break as well as Miettinen with a tip that beats George but rings the bar on the power play as well. And it's just felt disjointed for these 2 LA King draft picks in net. Carter George, a 2nd rounder. Rimpinen, a 5th rounder.
Aitchison puts it high in the air again, and that'll be icing again.
Here are the 2 goaltenders. And look what they've done in the World Juniors from last year and this year. Obviously exemplary records. Goals against is low. Save percentage is high, but those are both moving in the wrong direction tonight. It's 3 on 8 for George and 3 on 7 for Rimpinen.
Page for the faceoff was jawing with the Finnish bench in that stoppage. Aitchison up ahead to McKenna. Bats that back out. And winding in is Nieminen. Backhands that wide of the goal. Danford.
He's got to make a pass. Can't keep just shooting the puck down.
Another racing call against Canada.
Aitchison, Danford, they've had the puck on their stick with some time and trying to do the high flip, trying to find a way to get a change in, and now it's tired group for Canada. First line coming out for Finland late in the first. Koivu, there's Atos Koivu, has not been on the ice yet in this game.
No.
Which is strange.
Montreal 3rd round pick. Now again, Aaron Kivaharju, the captain's out. There's been a nasty stomach bug going around. Canada had it in the first couple of days of the tournament. Seems to be going through the Finns now. So I'm not sure who's healthy and who's not at this point. And as someone who had it himself, I can tell you it's not pleasant. TJ Ginla up ahead to Martin. Rink wide, he goes for Baudouin. Knocks that down onside. Paul Baudouin works in. Baudouin plays it back down to a Ginla. TJ Ginla trying to work that free. Baudouin comes in as well. Inside 2 to go here in the period. Baudouin swings that back to Brunick. Harrison Brunick walks right in and shoots. Whippin makes a blocker save. Brought back by Hemming. Emil Hemming crisscrossing there with Miettinen, and that's broken up by McKenzie. And Hemming feeds that back to Viti Väisänen. Väisänen got kicked out of the game against the Czechs. All 3 game misconducts in this tournament have happened in Group B. Bouncing puck. Picked up by Vestarinen. Plays that back. Jokinen's shot deflected in front. And Brunick has it back. To the line, but not out. Vestarinen. Pass picked off by Brunick to Ginla. Looks ahead for O'Reilly, barreling in on Jokinen. Nikolai flied hard behind the boards. Gathered back up by Atijoki. Joki tries to bank that back ahead. Reed chips it back to center ice. Reshny looking for it. Then chipped back down to the Canadian zone. Perek. Skated by the puck for a moment. Perek gathers it back up. Takes a big hit there from Suvanto. And plays it back down to the Finnish blue line. Chetluchenko trying to flush Nieminen. And Nukari, that long shot punched away by George. Ruohonen. The centering pass is hacked wide by Saralainen. Reed on it. Moves behind the goal again. It bounces back. In comes Nukari. And Nukari, his pass was knocked away by George. Breck's stick was pulled back by Ruohonen. And now Ruohonen has it. Works across the top. Ruohonen. Drops that back for Nieminen. Nieminen long wrist shot. And that might have hit Luchenko in front. As time winds down here in the period, Ruohonen weaves in, shoots, and put that wide. Nukari brings it back around. And a furious first period comes to a conclusion with Canada and Finland tied at 3 after the opening 20 on New Year's Eve here in Minnesota.
Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
This might take a minute. Canada took the lead. Zane Perek, a minute and 13 in, but Julius Miettinen ties it up. Brady Martin puts Canada back ahead. Oliver Suvanto ties it up. And in one stretch, the teams combined for 3 goals in a minute 46. The last 2 on the power play. Brady Martin makes it 3-2. But Lassi Polius on the power play ties the game at 3. These 2 goaltenders, Rimpinen and George, were the 2 best in the tournament last year. It's been a struggle here in the first.
It's been a tough period, and for Carter George, you're gonna think he's so poised, has so much calmness in his demeanor. He'll have to reset himself because it was a erratic period in front of him and around him. Getting scored on in the first goal, the first shot, that's not great. The rebound control, you know, he likes to turn away and take a breath, and of course this controversial not review, not interference, where Saralainen gets a piece of his glove. He asks for a review. He doesn't get it, and then he has to try to clean it up towards the end of the period. He got beat for a crossbar as well. And I think Carter George and probably Rimpinen as well in between periods had to sit there, relax, refocus, treat it like it's 0-0, and get ready to be better in the next 40 minutes.
Had a chance to speak with some IHF officials between periods. I'll give you the explanation in a moment for why that challenge by Canada was not successful. Valala plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Aitchison back to pick it up. And behind the goal is Keishon Aitchison. Baudouin trying to knock that free. Here's Danford having a look ahead. Lobs that back down to the finish zone. That was moved by O'Reilly. Here's Miettinen back with it. Across it goes to Valala. Valala plays it back down. Danford around to Aitchison. And now Aitchison back with it. The Barrie Colts star gains center ice and fires that back down to the finish zone as Rimpinen leaves it there for Polius, an Anaheim second-round pick. Polius to Ruohonen. Works in. Reed knocked that away. And the clearing attempt was knocked down by Oni Kauto. TJ Ginla moves it across the Finnish blue line. Ginla fishes that back in deep. And now Iginla works it free again and shoots. And Rippinen makes the glove save. And now Martone takes a late bop there.
Trying to draw one. Not going to get it, though. Martone's good at initiating and taking the extra one. Good step off by Iginla. Quick release. Rippinen makes it through the extra shove, and there's not a whole lot there. That's a good read by the officials. Well, maybe a little eye gouge, but all right, Gord, you got some clarification on this non-goal for us, or goal for us.
The key is the positioning of Carter George's glove because it is outside the crease and the contact is unintentional. Saarelainen is going for the puck, as is George. It's unintentional contact with the glove outside the crease. Correct shoots, that's blocked. Now, had George's glove been in the crease, the call would likely have been different. Page with the wraparound try, Rippinen down, and makes the stop on that.
And I would say, I'll still say, guess what I'm doing every time a goalie puts his hands outside the crease? I'm accidentally trying for a tip and hitting his hands. I know that that's the rule, but it can't be the, I don't like the interpretation of it.
So the other thing is, had his glove been in the crease and the contact been unintentional on a loose puck or a rebound, that is also permitted. So, for example, if both are going for a loose puck in the crease,
sure, on
a rebound, and the contact is unintentional,
but to shut the goalie's glove so he can't catch it, unintentional or not, that seems like a awfully big give for incidental contact. But either way, went Finland's way, and Carter George and Canada got to deal with it and get back to playing and the good stuff with the puck and tighten up a little bit without it.
Canada, the highest scoring team in the tournament, entering play today. And Gavin McKenna, who's out there now, is leading the tournament in points, entering play today. And it's off the stick of Cameron Reid. Got it back up by Vestergaard. Drops it back. And that shot by Nukari goes off the stick of Hage, up and out of play.
And what do you think the message was in both dressing rooms after the first period? Everybody, calm down.
Right.
Like breathe. Settle, look, skate, think, pass. Both teams are guilty of it.
Well, it's one of the things we love about this tournament because it's teenagers. They tend to get a little extra high, extra low.
Yep.
There's massive swings and emotions. You know, in the NHL, players tend to be pretty level.
More mature.
Right.
And not to mention the first time they played in a building with some juice in it.
Right.
To add to the rivalry, the moment, New Year's Eve, all of it. And it was a crazy first period.
Face-off was won by Luchenko, but he gets a warning. Luchenko, by the way, his family, some of them are here, but some of them are back in Toronto. His younger brother, Jace, and the London Junior Knights just won the Toronto Marlboros Holiday Invitational.
Oh, congrats.
Yesterday, yeah. Face-off control by the Finns. Busy family this time of year.
Set a high bar for Jet to follow.
That puck went off the glass and out. A late call on the stoppage.
Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
Jet Luchenko began the year in the NHL with the Flyers, the youngest player ever to play for Philadelphia, then was traded from Guelph to the powerhouse in Brantford. First round pick of Philadelphia, 13th overall in 2024.
They basically have three centermen on this line, Canada, right. Luchenko and Reshny and Coots. Two of them were in the NHL this year.
Right.
And they're the two wingers.
Right.
They've been moved out of position.
We mentioned that Coots is up around 80%, Luchenko up around 70% on draws when they take them.
Never have to take one on your offside.
Here's Coots, who began the year with the Vancouver Canucks, up for Reshny. He was tied up. And Luchenko falls. Brought in now by Reshny. Now a turnover and a quick chance for Coots. Pulled out by Reshny. Coots back with it. Banks that back to Brunik. Hard pass in for Reshny. Reshny slings that back across. McKenzie fans on the shot. It rolls down to Luchenko, but gathered back up by Piparinen. Glove down by Vestorinen. He was bumped there by Luchenko. Brunik trying to play it ahead. He was spilled by Yoki. And Baudouin back for the loose puck. Up ahead for Brunick, who fires it down to the finish zone. Jokinen got tied up. And his clearing attempt goes off Desnoyers and back to center ice. And Baudouin knocks that back for Danford. And across to Brunick. Brunick up ahead for O'Reilly. Flips it ahead for Baudouin. Just missed and ripping it at the play. It knocks that away. Jumping up is Bradford. A pass that goes wide. And Jokinen gathers it back up. High in the air. It skips in front of Bradford. And Danford plays it back down. Desnoyers drops in the high slot. Danford had the pass bounce off his stick. Here's Aitchison with a rolling puck. Deshaun Aitchison feeds it for Desnoyers to Baudouin. Back for Aitchison. Slings it across to Danford. Danford looking for the carom off the end boards. Ripping and swatted that away. And played back out by Hemming. And memo to the teams going for Group A to play their middle round games here. The end boards are lively here in this building. McGinley down to Misa. Brings that back around. Hemming got there first and chipped it back to center ice as Aitchison is back to pick it up. Aitchison, 19 goals in 27 games this year as a defenseman for the Barrie Colts. First round pick of the Islanders in the last NHL draft. Correct. Swings it across to Martone. He's poke checked there by Kelto. Ronnie Kelto works in and pass deflected wide by Saralainen. And Martone feeds it ahead to Misa. Drops that back to McGinley. Moved off his stick and flipped high by Valila. Martone moves in with McGinley. Misa the trailer. Martone shoots, ripping and save, and he quickly corrals the rebound. And Misa came in with a late whack. And his stick chopped at.
They're going to take both of them soon. Not this time, but you can see every time there's a scramble, Martone's out there. He's looking to goad Finland into an extra punch, draw a power play, while not taking anything himself. So a quick stretch up here and put it down to the net. Puck is dropped. Not much going on there. A little extra slash on the stick, no big deal. But the shove from Martone's kicks it off. I always like the officials trying to talk sense to the guys in these scrums. Don't do that. Please stop. Doesn't usually take. They just spoke to the benches. There it is right there. He's telling the benches, the official, we're going to start calling singles next time guys get scrumming after the whistle. John Linder said enough of that. We're not taking that for 35 more minutes.
Page took a stick off the face-off. Verhoff knocks it down. That's picked up by Kuka. Had to wait for teammates to get back on side. And here is Martin. Brady Martin. That pass is picked up by Kuta. Works it down to Westergaard. Shoots him a sharp angle at the side of the goal. Kuta back with it. Laid back in by Tuva.
They just got Westergaard for a stray high stick on McKenzie.
So we saw the one on Hage off the face-off. That's not a penalty, unless it was something other than a stick. And now they got Westergaard, and Canada's going to the power play.
And the referees are going to clamp down on every little infraction now as this game is heating up. On the face-off, it's actually an elbow from Kuta, which is probably not a penalty. Everyone just battling and people bump into each other. And a little whack across the face, inadvertent by Westergaard, is enough to put Canada back to the power play where they scored on their only attempt, with Brady Martin picking up a rebound in front. There's lots of chatter on the ice between these two teams and these benches.
And we talked about the bitter game they had in the summer. I've done games of the summer showcase before. Very little happens for the most part. Face-off not done fairly. It took Canada 13 seconds to score in their first power play. And now 6 for 11 on the man advantage with 6 different goal scorers. Face-off won by Ruohonen. Played back around by Martin, who's got 2 here this evening. Banked back by McKenna for Reshny. And Martin back across to Hage. Hage, nifty move, feeds it back to Parekh. Parekh back across to McKenna, has time for Parekh. Swings it back across, a shot by Hage deflected wide. Now McKenna flips it back for Hage, walks right in and shoots at the crossbar. McKenna back with it. Maybe Hage again. Reshny, Hage winds and shoots and pounded that wide.
That was the easiest one. He had the empty net.
Parekh, here's Hage again. Walks it and fires. That time it's blocked. Parekh flips that back to McKenna. Hage is set up again. McKenna, Parekh. And that rink-wide pass is deflected away. To race for it now is Parekh at the hustle back. Lead pass for Martin. Kicks that ahead to Reshny. Feeds it across to McKenna, who leaves it there for Hage. That's picked up. And Ruohonen back the other way. Parekh got tied up with the linesman. Ruohonen works in short-handed. And that's blocked by Parekh. Ruohonen back with it. Drops it back. And McKenna was almost off to the races. And Parek's slow to get to his feet there, making his way back to the Canadian bench. And moving very slowly as he does.
He went crashing into the boards on the slide. You can see the trail in the snow to the left of Carter George.
Luchenko drops that across to Misa. He's poke checked by Subanto.
Subanto has been effective in this game. Underage player has been really good.
Well, the top prospect for the upcoming NHL draft. Luchenko winds in, waits for Misa, but not long enough. And that's offside.
Zane Parekh hustling to get back in a little 2-on-1.5. He slides, blocks the pass, and then crashes in the boards. Got Brady Martin skate right. Oh, he almost steps on his elbow. Good block, but sort of out of control for everybody. Want to make sure you don't get any wayward skate blades in that moment. It's no worse for wear.
Brought in by Martone with the Ginla, and Martone fires that in. Shot back down the Canadian zone. George leaves it there. No shots on that power play. Misa chips that to Bruning. He got tied up for a moment. Now chips it back across to Martone. Up for Ginla. Ginla works back in for Bruning, who's jumped up. And Bruning got to leave that back in the corner. Väisänen couldn't clear that out. Brought back by Miettinen. Miettinen flips it back for Hemming, and his centering pass is broken up by Misa on the back check. Martone racing to it. Saralainen kept it alive. Now poked ahead. Martone one-on-one with Nieminen. Martone waiting for help to arrive as Canada changes. Looks across to Ginla. And Ginla had it taken away. And a penalty coming. It'll be a hook against the Finns. And Canada's going back to the power play in a 3-3 tie here in the second period on New Year's Eve at the 50th World Junior.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
This season on Pluto TV,
Can you put a price tag on wonder?
we know the holidays are expensive.
Starting to feel like Christmas.
Treat yourself with free movies, free TV shows, and so much more on Pluto TV.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Canada heads right back to the power play. As late in the shift, Ginla and Martone make something happen. As Ginla fights off traffic, Saralainen gets a stick into the hands, absolutely forces the turnover. And Canada, who just had a couple of good looks, including a crossbar from Michael Hage on the last power play.
That's a 2-minute minor for hooking.
Go right back to work.
And it'll be Cole Reshny for the face-off to get things started. And Dale Hunter made it clear why he's on the first power play, primarily to win that face-off. Reshny, the Macklin, Saskatchewan native. Plays with Vision, North Dakota after 3 years of Victoria of the Western League. He wins that draw. Moved back down the ice by Weissman. And reforced the turnover, and George leaves it there for Parekh. Zane Parekh has scored his 4th goal of the tournament in the first period. Drops that back for Hayes. And away comes Michael Hayes. And this is Ontario. And he falls and turns it over. Chance shorthanded for Vestorinen. Doesn't get a shot away. Now Vestorinen lays that back for Weissman. And fired back down to the Canadian zone. Gloved down by George. Leaves it there for Parekh. Canada will try it again. Parekh. Up ahead to McKenna. McKenna gains the Finnish blue line for Reshny. Roll up his stick. Jokinen had it poked away. And Ruohonen couldn't clear it out. Now it's sent down the ice by Nukari. Parekh snaps that pass ahead. Ingves in alone. Scores! Just like that, Canada's back on top 4-3. What a pass.
That was 120 feet zipper from Zane Parekh to TJ Ginla, who was stepping off the bench, gets lost behind the coverage. Want to make sure everyone was inside the gate when Ginla crossed over. No feet on the ice. There was almost a great release, glove side. That's a full wrist shot. You got to track that down, settle it down, and it's just so fast. No mistake for TG. Draws the penalty, steps out, in alone, puts Canada back up on another power play goal.
That's a goal and 2 assists for Zane Parekh. And TJ Ginla has his first goal since the opener against Czechia. And his dad, Jerome, we understand, is not in his seat. He's been pacing the whole game. So Jerome told James Duthie before the game that he was pretty calm. This game, games like this will get anyone out of their seat.
So the puck drops.
Kuta plays that back around. That's knocked away from Vestergaard. And now Misa chips that to Ginla across to Martone. And Martone bottled up there by Vestergaard, but he finds Verhoff. Up ahead for Misa on the Finnish blue line. And that's offside when it's touched up by Martone. 9:46 to go here in the second period. And a next generation Canadian junior star, TJ Ginla, has Canada up 1 here in the second.
Your unit works the dope game, mostly cash seizures. What do we got?
Detective. Was carrying over 20 mil.
This is a huge hit. Hello?
You have 30 minutes to get out of the house. We gotta count the money and get out of here.
Before this goes really bad for all of us.
Who's moving on this money?
I don't know. But no one needs to die in there.
I think we're in trouble.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back. Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July? I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
TJ Ginla, the 6th overall pick to Utah. That's a massive goal, and you could just see him get lost in behind Jokinen on the change. And this wrister, like that is about as hard as many players could shoot the puck from Zane Parekh, and the release super clean. And Saarelainen do nothing but watch from the box. His team goes down again on another power play goal against. Big hits. Both sides ready for it.
That was O'Reilly and the eminent. Now Baudouin knocks that free for O'Reilly. And this line goes back to work. Desnoyers with a big collision with Vanderbilt. Loose in the corner to O'Reilly. Baudouin Tangles there with Nieminen, and Nieminen's got a hold of his stick. And he tries to center it. Back in the point. Danford shoots. That goes just wide. Danford. Loose puck in front. Both Wham battling for it. And O'Reilly gets a shot away. Rippon reaches up and gloves that and hangs on.
Both benches were just warned to not do this. I can hear the ref say next guy gets a penalty. It always seems to be the next guy, not this guy. And good shift by this identity line. We're going to call them both O'Reilly and Desnoyers. Pucks banging all around. O'Reilly winning battles, scrapping for it before Rippon finally swats it down to take control.
They're taking Vananen out of this pileup. And Desnoyers.
Yeah. They warned them. They said next time we're taking people, and I guess they're taking both now.
Maybe the next time they'll take one.
Number 37, Canada, number 25. Both 2 minutes for roughing. Remains 5-on-5.
Remains 5-on-5. If you're one of these two players, you're not going on in the next 2 minutes anyways. It's sort of inconsequential.
Right.
There'll be a whistle. You go back out there, take your regular shift. It doesn't really change the complexion or temperature of the game.
Gage back up with a face-off. Had a miserable time the first couple of games of the face-off circle. Much better later, and been good tonight. A scramble draw. Iparinen plays that around, waiting for his Brunick, but it moved by him. Brunick hustles back. Icing called against the Finns. Let's take it back to the 96 World Junior in Boston. And Jerome McGinley, the Dallas first-round pick, traded to Calgary. He was almost unstoppable in that tournament. He was a force in every game as Canada captured the gold medal. And a proud gold medalist there at the Olympics as well.
An all-time great.
Yeah. For the third straight year, Canada has a player whose dad also played the World Junior. 2 years ago, Jorian Donovan. His dad, Sean, played in '95. Ethan Gauthier last year. Denny played in '96, and now TJ Ginla.
There he goes.
Pass side Gage. Then a partial break. Gage in, shoots. Looks back at the official, Rippon, and makes the stop.
Gage is he can find open ice. Seems to slash into.
8.5 to go here in the second period. That shot taken by Kelto, rinsed off the stick of McKenzie, up and out of play.
So the time to support down low and the time to get out of the zone, that is an incredible dish. Brady Martin just lays it on out. Look at that sauce. Lands soft and flat. Pretty good, actually. Non-hold at Iparinen. He just couldn't quite elevate it. He wants to take a quick look on the bench.
Can't get those teenagers off their devices, can you?
So well, Michael Hage has been Canada's best forward in this tournament. Start to finish, game after game.
Yeah.
He's been on the best line.
Tied for the NCAA point, for second in the NCAA point race when he left for the Canadian camp at Michigan. Having a monster year for the #1 ranked team in the NCAA. They don't like hearing that in these parts.
All right. Big Ten rivals.
Valila plays it back around for Vestorina. Väisänen moves back in. That shot was blocked by Parak. Yoki battles there with Reed. And now Resti trying to clear it out. Yoki kept it alive for the Finns. Things have settled out somewhat here in the second period as Reed got it back up after a 6-goal first. Coots couldn't clear that out. And that shot by Nukari turned away by George. Nukari slammed down by Luchenko. And Reshny works that free. Luchenko swings it wide. In comes Reed, winds and shoots. Rippon makes the stop on that bouncing puck. Reed looking for his own rebound. That was knocked away by Nukari. Here's Verhoff. Knocked that down. Keaton Verhoff, a 17-year-old freshman in North Dakota. And the Finns are changing as Verhoff finds Martone for Misa. Back to Martone. Has Rippon down. Slides that back. A shot by Aitchison. Stopped by Rippon. Here's Aitchison again. Long wrist shot goes off a stick, up and out of play. So TJ Ginla has the go-ahead goal here, and we have managed to find his elusive father with his wife Kara. And by the way, next year might be a 4th straight year with a son of a World Junior dad. Joe Ginla's pretty good with the Edmonton Oil Kings.
He looks pretty calm now. He's on his 17th piece of gum, but he's okay. He was a ferocious. We played against each other our entire careers. It was a tough opponent. Super nice off the ice.
Right.
Super mean on it.
Now fed back in front. That pass just missing from McGinley. Vestergaard looks for the return pass. That's kicked away by Aitchison. And McGinley quickly counterattacking the other way. McGinley in across, feeds that for Marteau. Back in front. Aitchison missed on that. And a chance now for the Finns the other way. Vestergaard moves in, drops it for Boley. Here's that pass missed him. Marteau reaching for it. He works it ahead, trying to find Baudouin. In comes Baudouin with a shot. Rip it and save. Rebound cleared away by Miettinen. Beaulieu swings that back. Lead pass for Miettinen. Bounce that wide of the goal. Kicked away by George. Brunick up for Baudouin. And a race for it now. Desnoyers moving in on Piperinen. And Desnoyers won that race. Baudouin follows him up. Baudouin taken down. And Brunick fires it back down. That pass almost turned over there by Piperinen. Hemming takes it back down. That puck is played away by Brunick. Out to center ice. Got it back up by Baudouin. Oh, Baudouin drops that back for O'Reilly. Walking in is Desnoyers. Desnoyers with a chance. Shoots it, but it's saved. And the rebound comes loose, but the referee had blown the whistle. Brunick arguing the puck was never frozen. Canada up 4-3 here in the second period. And thinking maybe this one should have counted. But the whistle had gone.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
Harrison Brunick might have a case that this puck should have not been blown down. Shot from Desnoyers sits on the pad of Rimpinen. And it was loose. Now, if Sam O'Reilly dislodges it from being covered, that's one thing, but the referee was coming in from behind the pile. This is what he's looking at. He thinks that puck is sitting on the pad. It wasn't, and could have been tucked in. But then when you have scrums after every whistle, you're quick on blowing things down because you want to try to discourage that.
Cage out to center ice. That's knocked down by Valila. Works it back into the Canadian zone. Valila back across to Bison and walks it and shoots. That was blocked, and McKenna's got it back. Page streaking out. McKenna with Martin moving in as well. Page walks in, trying to center that pass, and now here's Martin. Back around, Reed racing to it, but the puck skipped away from him and back down to the Canadian zone. Correct. Up for Hage. McKenna. Flips it back across to Reed. And back down to Perek. And the shot by Hage goes just wide. McKenna back with it. McKenna. Going to swing that back across. Gathers it back up. Throws it right wide. What a pass. Hage moves in. Loose puck. Rippin makes the save. McKenna spins and shoots. And Rippin rolled and made that stop. Might have been with his name bar.
What a pass from McKenna. That was...
And now Luchenko works it free, but it's picked up by Valila. Tuva plays it back in. Poked ahead by Danford, back down to the finish zone as Nukity goes back. Whoa, that was close.
This has been a lopsided period in Canada's favor. Page, McKenna, Martin have been going to work, and once McKenna gets a little space, it's trouble time. And this backhand sauce, that's Draisaitl-like all the way to Hage. He thinks he's got Rimpinen down and out. He's going to go all the way across, and it's actually the stick of Väisänen.
Right.
Watch 13. Empty net? No, Väisänen pokes it away at the last second.
Shots are 12-2 Canada here in the second period. Nukiry's shot was blocked. Luchenko plays it ahead. And now Luchenko in a race with the Nieminen for it. And the Nieminen takes a hard bump there from Luchenko. Luchenko has lost his stick. It's over in the other corner. And now the Nieminen being watched there by Coots. Up ahead to Kuta. Long shooting. George knocks that over the glass and out. 3:29 to go here in the second period.
Gavin McKenna, who has an assist tonight, currently tied for the tournament lead in scoring. That's what he's done playing for Team Canada. 17 goals in 21 games. And he generally does this playing up ages, where he's not with his age group in the tournament.
At the 2024 Under-18 tournament, where he was 16 years old, he had 20 points in 7 games. 16 of these Canadian players have won at least one IHF Under-18 gold medal. Jack Ivankovic, the backup goalie, has won 2. Correct. Plays it back around to Reed. And a race for it now. Baudouin moving in on Bolius. And they quickly play that away from Miettinen. Up to center ice. Perek knocked that down. And O'Reilly drops it back to Reed. Backhand to Sam O'Reilly. And O'Reilly takes a hard bump there from Jokinen. Perek jumps up on Hemming. Knocked free by Baudouin. Looks down to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly to the side of the goal. Rimpinen knocks it down loose, but Baudouin scores! Cole Baudouin puts Canada up by 2.
Cole Baudouin, the center of the, we'll call him the identity line. Gets rewarded. Good hard work. Sam O'Reilly gets to the net. Good quick stick by Desnoyers, beating his defender down to the net. And Baudouin is able to jump on the loose puck. Is beating guys to the front of the net. Beating guys to race it to the puck. This line does a lot of it. Haven't been rewarded as much as they'd like, but get a huge goal late in the second period. Cole Baudouin, his first, and a big one.
His first in his 2 World Junior appearances for Canada. And you call them the identity line? I might call them Dale Hunter's security blanket. When they're on the ice, he feels very comfortable.
Given the way this team plays, the other lines don't offer him that quite same degree of comfort. That's a big goal for those 3.
Verhoff knocks it down, fires that wide of the goal. Iginla chips it back down to Misa. Here's Iginla back with it, shoots from a sharp angle. Rimpinen made the stop on that. Brought ahead by Suvanto. To Vestorinen. That's broken up by Verhoff. That's picked off by Vestorinen. Walks in and shoots, scores! And Vestorinen takes advantage of the turnover to draw the Finns back within 1. 35 seconds after the Canadian goal.
And you're just hoping for a solid shift if you're Canada, but Verhoff's got the puck on his stick. It's bouncing around. Suvanto, who has been noticeable, turns him over. And Verhoff plays it up the middle, not up the boards. And that's a tidy shot from Vestorinen. Short side right under the bar. But if you're going to turn it over, get it along the wall, out of harm's way. Verhoff puts it right on the tape of Vestorinen, who makes no mistake.
4th of the tournament for Vestorinen, who led all rookies in goal scoring in the Finnish top pro league last year, the SM Liga. Canada has 2 draft-eligible defensemen on the roster for this tournament. Carson Karls is a healthy scratch tonight, and Berhoff was a healthy scratch in the first 2 games. And it's rare for underage defensemen to make the Canadian roster. Berhoff projected by many to be the 2nd overall pick in the upcoming NHL draft. George back around to Brack, waiting for it. Is Martin, chips that back to center ice. And Brady Martin. And that knocked away. Valila. In on Hage, who knocks that free. McKenna works back in with Martin. Good move by McKenna. Now Martin moving up. Carolina flips that wide of the Canadian goal, and Danford back to pick it up. Out to center ice, picked up by McKenna, trying to find Martin with it. Baudouin back out there. McKenna at the end of a shift. In across the line, McKenna pivots back. Throws that to Parekh walking in. Zane Parekh with it, has a look and shoots. That was blocked in front by Väisänen. Brought back by Vestergaard. Stolen back by O'Reilly, and a penalty coming to Canada. With 1:02 to go, they're going to call a trip here, and the Finns will go to the power play.
Zane Parekh.
Canada number 19 has a 2-minute minor for tripping.
And so against the run of play, Finland scores late to get within 1. Now get a late power play opportunity. As Parekh takes a bad angle. Vestergaard jumps inside and takes his feet out with his stick. That's an easy call to make.
Shots are 15-4 Canada in the period.
Sam O'Reilly, this right saw draw, he's been really good with it.
That's won cleanly by Miettinen. Back to Beaulieu. Final minute now of the period. Beaulieu for Vananen. Feeds it back across, and Miettinen is cued that wide. Sarolainen to Miettinen. Played back to Vananen. Works back in, drops that back to Kuta. Beaulieu across to Vananen. Slides that back to Beaulieu. In for Vananen. And that pass misfired. And Miettinen has to retreat with O'Reilly bearing in on him. Now O'Reilly will go off on a change. On comes Luchenko. Beaulieu. Long shoot in, knocked down by George. And Baudouin sends it back down the ice. Beaulieu drops it back to Miettinen. Vananen winds in, moves around Brunet, drops it in the high slot. That shot just wide. Great chance there for Tuba. Still loose at the side of the goal. George gloves that and hangs on with 2 seconds to go in the period.
Every time puck gets in the defense zone, that's Mike, George, Tara, Carter George's parents. It's got to be tough. It's a tough position to be a parent of, and they're wearing it, and we can all relate. Carter seems to be okay, though. He's usually pretty calm with these things.
Resting for the face-off against Ruohonen. Draw is scrambled, and Canada will go to the dressing room with a 5-4 lead after 2 periods of play. And still more to come on New Year's Eve from the 50th World Junior Championship.
Visit Wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
30 years to the day after his dad had a hat-trick at the World Junior Championship, TJ Ginla has his 2nd goal of the tournament. Cole Baudouin has led Canada in ice time through 2 periods of play over 13 minutes. He gave Canada a 5-3 lead, but Roope Vistarinen takes advantage of a turnover and draws the Finns back within 1 after 40 minutes. Gord Miller back here with Mike Johnson. The one thing we've seen from Canada from the pre-tournament on has been their love of stretching teams out.
And they've done a really good job. You think it might be hard against Finland because Finland is largely organized and clogs the neutral zone and doesn't give you these opportunities. But Canada, whether it's the old up and over alley-oop play to spring a guy in space just to get the play moving up the ice in foot races, or whether it's passes tape to tape, giving the receiver a chance to do something with it is the key. It's not just a tip in and go chase it. It's a reception, a handle, and an offensive sequence that follows. And Canada's making pretty good decisions with some of these plays that resulted in a couple goals for, and stringing together a 100-foot pass against Finland you'd think would be tough, but Canada's done a good job of it through 2 periods.
Zane Parekh has 58 seconds of penalty time to serve to start this 3rd period in a 5-4 game. New Year's Eve 2009 in Ottawa. It was 3-3 Canada USA after 2, 5-4 Canada after 2. After 1 it was 3-3, then 5-4 after 2. The difference was the U.S. led that game 3-0 that night early on in Ottawa.
And what did that game up at?
7-4. John Tavares. Aitchison sends that back down the ice. A hat trick on New Year's Eve. We thought that was the wildest World Junior game we'd ever seen, and it was until a few nights later, Jordan Eberle in the semis against the Russians. That's poke free, a chance now for Canada, shorthanded. Luchenko works in. Jet Luchenko walks in. Great move, Luchenko, backhand shot. And Rippon makes the save up high on that. Brought back out by Vatanen. Drops it off for Valila. Time winding down in the Finnish power play. That's knocked back out by Luchenko. Great example of a player playing a different role here than he would for his junior team in Brantford. Luchenko, a penalty killer.
But if he's going to be in the NHL, he'll likely play a role like this.
Right.
3rd line penalty killer, speed demon in Luchenko.
Martone brought down the Emin, and no shots in that power play for the Finns. Poked at by Misa, played back to center ice, and chipped in by Kalto. Back goes Keishon Aitchison to pick it up. Out to center ice for Iginla. Tap that back down to the Canadian zone, and Aitchison back to pick it up. Snapped ahead by Danford for Misa. Misa got a piece of that, so there's no icing. And then Misa got to leave it there for Martone. That's picked off and brought out by Yoki. And Verhoff back out there, feeds it back down to the Finnish zone. We've not seen Attes Koivu for the Finns since the 1st period. He had 2 shifts. For about 1 minute and 15 was -2. Now, as we mentioned, Aaron Kiviharju, the Finnish captain, not playing here tonight. He's ill. There has been a nasty bug going through the tournament, so Koivu may not be at 100%. McKenzie, up ahead for Brady Martin, who's got 2 tonight. Chips that back down to the Finnish zone. McKenna knocked that free to center ice. Verhoff looks for Hage. McKenna reaching for that, now knocked down by Martin. And at center ice, McKenzie plays that back for Cameron Reid. Up ahead for Martin, chips it back down to the Finnish zone as Hage goes in on Jokinen. Brought back out by Vestergaard. Max Vestergaard works in. He's poke check there, still loose and shoots. Save made by George. Tuba trying to play that back. That was blocked. A lead pass for McKenna. In comes Gavin McKenna. And he almost knocked that free from the eminent. Miettinen, the Seattle 2nd rounder, who has a goal in the game, chips that back in. George back around for Reid. Flips it back to center ice. Got it back up by Vatanen. And Vatanen works in, holds, lays that back, teed up. Valila shoots, that deflects wide. And Desnoyers trying to move that by Miettinen, held at the line by Väisänen. Back across he goes to Valila. Valila on the line, has a look, lots of traffic in front. Valila drops it off for Hemming. He's tied up by Parekh, but now Hemming works it free. Hemming trying to center it, blocked by Desnoyers. Hemming centers it again. Valila backhand shot, that was blocked by Baudouin. That back across. Valois shoots again. That's blocked by Baudouin. Two Canadians collide. Baudouin is slow to get to his feet. Väisänen works it back across and drops that back. Long shot by Vanderland. Pad saved by George, and Baudouin plays that to center ice. Canada needs a change badly. Hemming. And then knocked away by Luchenko. And Rippon plays that back around. Emil Hemming. Highly rated prospect for his draft year. In 2024, dropped down to 29th of the Dallas Stars. Will fit right in with all the Finns in that room. Aitchison looking for Coots. That's knocked down the line by Boyos, but he couldn't hold it. Now Luchenko, rink wide pass for Reshny. In comes Reshny, drops that back for Luchenko. He pivots back on Ruohonen. Trying to center it, now jumping up is Danford. And Danford looks down to Luchenko. Centers it, Coots a backhand shot, and that's blocked in front by Jokinen. Coots, they're tied up there. They're going to get Coots for a penalty here, a trip. And so the Finns get a power play 5 minutes and 6 seconds into the third period.
So Canada spends the first minute of the period killing off a penalty, plays for a few and goes back to the box.
Penalty number 8, 2 minutes for tripping.
Yeah, Coots gets his stick under the toe of Saarelainen. Gotta call it in the offensive zone. And then a chance for Luchenko to go shorthanded like this one. Fresh ice. He's so fast. And that is a nice move under the stick, trying to attack the backhand. Didn't hurt that it's against a forward, Vannanen. So you see that guy back there. You take him one-on-one every time. And pretty good save by Rippon. Good move by Luchenko.
Finns are 1 for 3 on the power play in the game. And O'Reilly for the face-off against Ruohonen. Controlled by the Finns. Hemming walks in and shoots, and George makes the stop. There's no rebound.
Busted coverage on a face-off. Hemming, who's been really quiet, but you have to watch. He's got such a good release. He gets in a spot like this, and you're in trouble. Aitchison gets picked off. Baudouin's got to play a 2-on-1 there, and he's stuck with it.
Hemming had the tying goal late against the Czechs before the Finns lost in overtime. Nieminen slides that back. There's Leo Tuba. Rink wide. Baudouin cut up his man to place offside at the Canadian blue line.
What game Baudouin is having. You mentioned leading Canada's forwards in ice time after 2 periods. First penalty kill. Starts every period. Scored a goal with his line as well. His game is growing throughout this tournament. He's a physically imposing player. Ronan thinks he's going to drive him wide, and he just takes him right down.
He, in fact, leads all Canadian skaters in ice time. Ooh, at 13 minutes.
Even more impressive.
After 2 periods.
Kuta way wide here. A little interesting. Maybe a hard ring over to him.
Here it comes. Kuta fires it back in. George, a bouncing puck. Got to kick that away from Miettinen. Reshny plays it back around. Brunick on his forehand, able to bank that off the boards and back down the ice. Swedes beat the United States earlier today to clinch first place in Group A. Swiss beat the Slovaks to clinch third. Czechs hung on to beat Latvia. As Carter George does it himself and flips that back down the ice. But because of the loss to the Czechs, if the Finns lose this game tonight, they're third.
And would get the United States. Americans. That is not a good quarterfinal matchup for either of those teams.
Right. Hard to remember a World Junior where there really hasn't been a clear favorite so far. Maybe the Swedes, but they've had their moments of unease at times. Canada comes in as the highest scoring team in the tournament and unbeaten at 3-0. Vestarina knocked down. Here's Aitchison on it. He'll send it back down in the final seconds of the Finnish power play. One shot for the Finns, and that man advantage remains 5-4 Canada. Valila in across the line. Backhands that high. And the puck goes up and out of play. You're watching the 2026 World Junior Championship from the Twin Cities on TSN.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Inspired by the strength of a diamond, every stitch reflects our resilience, pride, and belonging, forged through time and pressure. Canada's 2026 Olympic jersey, a symbol forged in ice.
Cover for college football playoff action as Alabama goes up against Indiana in the Rose Bowl tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TSN. And as we speak, Miami is about to knock off #1 ranked Ohio State.
Oh.
#2 ranked Ohio State, pardon me.
That's why the playoffs fun for football, though.
Yeah.
Especially when it's not just a 1, 2, 3, 4 that run away with it. If we play our cards right, we'll be just waking up for the game tomorrow. 4 Eastern.
Yeah, second half. Barak.
Real careful.
Was knocked down partly by Subanto. Now brought in by Misa. Misa pivots back. Michael Misa drops it on for Reed. The pass out of his reach. And now Reed back with it. Reed, a first-round Nashville pick in 2025. Here is Parak. Zane Parak snaps that pass in for Martone. Porter Martone works in. Leave that back for Iginla. And Subanto turns it over to Iginla. Back in front for Misa. In alone, shoots, put high. Diving was Bison and might have got a piece of that. Now Reed. He shoots and off the glove of Rimpinen. That goes over the glass and out, and 2 good looks for Canada.
Misa had it wide open. Iginla is waiting on Misa to spin around. You have 2 choices on this turnover for Iginla. You snap it hard or you lay it to space. And I think he would have been better served to pass that one a bit harder. Trust that Misa can handle it and don't give, catches the top of the stick of Rimpinen. But don't give the defender time to get back and crowd the shooter. Trust that he can handle the quick pass on the backhand.
So I asked Jerome Iginla how he's doing. He said, didn't eat as much as usual today.
He just having a good game.
I'm not sure the most intense Iginla is. It might be Kara.
More demonstrative.
Yes. Yeah, Jerome is intense, no question. Now in comes O'Reilly. Feathers that pass for Baudouin. Scores! Cole Baudouin does it again. And Canada's back up by 2. What a night he's having.
He was voted by his teammates for a letter on his jersey. Didn't score big last year. And another flip to space. And O'Reilly races it, and Baudouin beats Nieminen up the ice, and a perfect little pass from Sam O'Reilly. This is a sauce to space, looking just for a tip. And he goes far side. That's a tough tip to control, to get just enough to poke it inside the post.
And Eric, Mum Jackie. Eric played for Florida for 3 years. They're from Canada, Ontario, the Ottawa suburb where the Ottawa Senators play. And Cole Baudouin, who has been a go-to player for Dale Hunter since day 1.
This line has been growing into this game. With the way they played, they weren't getting the results, but they're getting them now at the biggest moments.
Brunig put it down. 6-4, Canada leads. McKenzie back around to McKenna. Looks ahead for Martin. Brady Martin bowls in with Hage. Martin pulls and shoots. It goes off the leg of Jokinen wide. Chipped ahead for Jonas Sarolainen, the Tampa Bay draft. He goes rink wide. For Calto. Drops it back. Ruohonen centers it. Now Calto chops it down for Ruohonen. And George tapped that away and rolled back in front. He's going to quickly cover that. With Sarolainen lurking dangerously.
A good counterattack goal, quick attack. A good little touch for Baudouin. Mom and Dad cheering as they go. He's got 14 goals in 25 games at Barrie, so it's not like he's not a finisher.
Number 4 in OHL in points when he left for the Canadian camp.
Had a chance to catch up with his coach over the break. I bumped into him doing some shopping, and he was singing Baudouin's praises big time.
In comes Coots with it. Rashny knocks it down at center ice. Chips it back down to the finish zone. It's been a more rollicking atmosphere here tonight. And
that's what it's supposed to feel like on New Year's Eve. Canada, Finland for first.
And the fans who have come here have been rewarded with a tremendous hockey game.
He's going to start making a lot of noise the last 10 minutes. Czech fans.
Yes.
They get second if this result stands.
Right. And the Czechs would then get Switzerland.
As opposed to the United States.
Misa tries to play that back. It's knocked down by Vestergaard. A long way to go here tonight, especially after what we saw in the first period. Misa back around the Pratt. Big down by Martone. Here in Minneapolis, Manitoba.
Love it. The red in the crowd. Chance breaking out. Makes it fun whichever team you play for.
Danford chips it around for Aitchison. Out to center ice. That got by Misa and back down to the finish zone as Jokinen goes back. Finns 2 silver medals the last 4 years. Both lost in heartbreaking fashion. In 2022, the Mason McTavish knocked down the goal line, followed by the Kent Johnson goal to golden last year. Teddy Stiga, the golden goal for the Americans in overtime. His first goal, his first shot of that tournament. Baudouin plays it back out and back down to the finish zone. Polius goes back. Finn's last one goal in 2019 in Vancouver. That was their 3rd in 6 years. Sharp back goes up by Benton. A good stop there by George in time of the rebound. He turned away. Hemming. And loose at center ice. Beaulieu plays that back. Desnoyers knocks down Piperinen. And Sarolainen moves back in, but that pass is picked off by Reed. Cameron Reed pokes it across to Perek, flips that back to center ice. Calto swings away from Desnoyers. There's Nieminen with it. 8 to go in the 3rd period. And Martin skips that back down to the finish in, and icing called against Canada.
A timely save for Carter George on a broken play in front. Emil Hemming jumps on this puck and gets a chip on it, and it's going in. Carter George with a reactionary blocker move at the last second to pick this one off with a little help from the top of his stick as well. Block out the first 4 and just focus on the next shot. Carter George.
But goalies need a good glove hand and a bad memory. Now it's stolen away. Dropped back by Martin. McKinnon shoots off the outside of the post. And that puck goes up and out of play as Canada very nearly gets its 7th on the night. Cole Baudouin from Canada, Ontario has 2. And Canada's got a 2-goal lead on Finland on New Year's Eve at the 50th World Junior Championship.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
At OK Tire, we service small vehicles. We service big vehicles. And we service vehicles that make big vehicles look like small vehicles.
Give yourself the gift of sleep this holiday season.
Hurry in and shop unbeatable deals with 25% off almost everything. Our extended Boxing Week is on now at Sleep Country.
Remember, if you don't snooze, you lose.
It's been a big night for Cole Baudouin and his line. This game has gone back and forth, but it's been Baudouin from Desnoyers and O'Reilly on the last two goals to push it to a 6-4 lead, and earning even more faith from the coaching staff. Baudouin leading all skaters in ice time right now for Team Canada. He's got his team up by 2.
First round pick of Utah in 2024. Tuva centers it, and the bouncing puck got away from Jasper Kuta. We welcome those of you who are watching on TSN 3, the college football playoffs, as McKenna shoots that high. The number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes have been knocked out by the University of Miami.
Let's see, Cole Baudouin. You mentioned his draft with Utah, playing with Barry, and having a good year there.
41 points in 25 games.
More than a point and a half.
Dad Eric on the far left, Mom on the far right. And brother Riker is there as well.
They're having a good time now.
By the way, the former Bowling Green State University Falcon sitting next to me is not unhappy about the Ohio State loss at all. There is not a wet eye in this booth.
It's a damn shame.
Merciless. Here's Verhoff with it. Up ahead to Reshny. Good pass by Verhoff to Cole Reshny. Drops that back to Coots. And that centering pass got away from Luchenko. Brought back by Vestorina. Vestorina takes that down off George. Verhoff goes back for it.
It's a good touch by Verhoff in the corner there under duress.
Reshny up ahead to Brunick, who fishes that back down to the finish zone, goes after his own shoot-in. Brunick back on it, leaves it back for Väisänen. Fires it back down in the Canadian zone. George out to play it. Brings it high off the glass. Desnoyers chips that back to center.
Carter George's ability to play the puck does help out on the dump-ins. Makes good decisions and gets lots of zip on his clears.
And that plays offside at the Canadian line. It's New Year's Eve at the World Junior Championship. There were some nervous moments along the way. And Canada with a 6-4 lead with 5:52 to go in the third.
It is the work that no one sees. It is relentless. It screams at you. One more set, one more rep, one more time. It is what fuels you. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Canada's Ultimate 50-50 is back. 3 huge draws across the country. It's Hockey Canada's biggest power play yet. Score your chance to win at hockeycanada5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen.
Quarterfinal day coming away on Friday. Canada's opponent would be Slovakia if this score holds. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN. 2023, those two teams met in Halifax. Connor Bedard with the overtime winner for Canada moments after Thomas Milic had made an unbelievable save and the Slovaks had hit the post in OT.
That was one of the best games I've ever been present for. It's an awful lot like some of the trips they've called other times in the game.
Parak snaps that pass ahead to Misa. Brings it back around to Marteau. Misa comes back after it. Calto. Knocks it up, but Reed takes it away. Parak up for Misa. Throws that ahead for Marteau. Piperina. That pass batted ahead by Reed, and Marteau tips it back ahead for Iginla. Ruohonen back with it. Back goes Parak. Zane Parak with 4 goals in the tournament. Long lead pass for Iginla. Does that stretch again. Iginla pivots back. Looks to Martone. Rippon knocks it down. Misa takes a whack at it. Now Martone retreats instead of chasing after the loose puck. Now knocks it down in center ice. Canada changing as Martone sends that deep and heads off. Inside 5 to go in the third period. We wish all of you looking in a happy, prosperous, healthy, and peaceful 2026. As Nieminen drops that back. Goalie is a shot that was blocked. The chance for Hemming shoots. Pat saved by George. He's been good here in the third period.
For the first time I saw Dale Hunter pull off McKenna's line because he wants Baudouin out here against Miettinen. Not seen any sort of forced line matching up until now.
And all the Finns are seeing is 5 Canadian crests facing them.
In the neutral zone.
Right. Piperinen fires that back in. Vestergaard after it. Takes a whack there from Danford. Gathered back up by O'Reilly. Gains center ice and chips it back down to the finish zone. O'Reilly knows what to do there. His junior coach is right behind the Canadian bench, Dale Hunter. That pass miscued. Hage sends it ahead. Race forward with McKenna. Plays it across for Martin. And McKenna in after it. Jokinen. That rink wide pass is picked up by Hage. Walks it and shoots. And Ruppinen makes the save on Michael Hage.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Both goalies settling in a little bit here in the third period. Connor George makes a really good right pad save. He's trying to find the puck and he spots it last minute, and then Rimpinen has to make these ones to give his team any chance. But Canada doing a good job defending patiently and then counterattacking when they can create a turnover as Finland tries to force the puck up the ice.
See Hage taking a look at that. Boy, there are bushels of reasons for Montreal fans to be excited about the way things are going. Michael Hage is near the top of that list.
Just keep thinking, will we see him this year in Montreal whenever Michigan has finished their season?
They're ranked #1 in the nation right now. How's that going, Bowling Green?
Different league now. Don't get to play them as often.
Misa back for Verhoff, a long wrist shot. Rippinen saves that. Keaton Verhoff was a Victoria Royal until he decided to go to North Dakota this year as a 17-year-old freshman defenseman.
That is so young. You think a lot of college freshmen are now 21, 22. He's playing guys 6 or 7 years older than he is. And as talented as he is and big and he's excellent, he might be first or second or third pick in the draft. 24 to 17, still a big difference.
He's got 11 points in 16 games in North Dakota.
Pretty good.
Now Parak tried to knock that around. There is up to Yoki after it. That pass misfired. Luchenko racing to it. In comes Luchenko. Works it on Beaulieu. Drops that back for Parak, who's jumped up. Parak. Long wrist shot. Rippinen knocks that down. And shift across by Vestorina. Canada will play its quarterfinal match here on Friday night. and chips that down. Danford on it. And Danford lifts it high in the air. The bouncing puck knocked down by Yoke, and it almost worked free by Desnoyers. And Canada sets up in the neutral zone again. Jokinen fires that back in, and now the goaltender Rimpinen goes to the finish bench. Empty net. Baudouin can't clear it out. Hemming's shot was blocked, and Baudouin flips it back down. A skipping puck goes back, and icing waved off. Baudouin hat trick hunting here in the third period. As that puck is chipped back down to the Canadian zone. Puck skips off the dasher, up and out of play. 1:33 to go here in the third period.
The early pull by Finland makes sense. They need 2 to tie. And I imagine they'll take their timeout at this point.
Yeah, they will. Lauri Mikkola, the 44-year-old head coach of this Finnish junior team.
Drop their strategy. And these are great things to work on for Canada. You know, they were scored on 6-on-5 by Latvia. So I want to try to clean that up a little bit. And maybe this is where strong face-off play, these moments really do come in handy. Puck's on the right side. It's got to be Sam O'Reilly and his line coming out to try to finish off this game.
No shortage of options for Dale Hunter for face-off, guys.
But a right shot on the right side. It'll be his London Knight captain, Sam O'Reilly.
And it's O'Reilly for the face-off against Vananen. Or Miettinen, rather. And O'Reilly and Miettinen both get warned.
I think that was the referee saying, my bad, that one's on me. Man, they didn't even get a stick off his shin pads.
O'Reilly wins that draw. Aitchison got taken down, but chopped the puck back in the corner. Baudouin reaching for it. Saralainen works that back to Kuda. 6-on-5 Finland. Beaulieu plays it across. Vananen trying to find Miettinen. Now Vananen goes back to Beaulieu. Vananen centers it. Bouncing puck picked up by Baudouin. Empty net for Canada. Baudouin gains center ice. Plays it across to O'Reilly. Shoots, scores! Fitting this line would finish it off.
And that is beautifully Canadian unselfish play by Baudouin. He's got 2 goals. They're up by 2. He's moving up the ice with it after a good turnover with a stick in front from Aitchison. He can shoot right now, but no, he draws the traffic, kicks it over. Gets his line mate one, seals the game. Doesn't chase a 3rd goal. Will not go unnoticed by teammates and coaches alike. And his parents approve as well.
Sam O'Reilly's got his first of this World Junior. And we mentioned the score from that wild New Year's Eve game in 09, 7-4 final. That's the score now.
Boy, is this team different than last year's.
There is so much high-end skill. Again, 13 of the 14 Canadian forwards on the roster are first-round picks, and the one who isn't will be Gavin McKenna.
And maybe a game plan that encourages them to be smart, but also do what you do. 3 out of 4 games in the round robin, preliminary round will have 7 or more goals scored by Team Canada.
Canada scored now 25 goals in 4 games. There have been some nervous moments. The 7-5 win in the opener against Czechia. The Czechs grabbed the lead in the second period. Followed by the overtime win over Latvia that had people wondering. Then the feel-good game against Denmark. And now here a 7-4 lead against the Finns as Reshny knocks it down. Reshny plays it back in. 5 seconds to go, play called.
I think the players were trying to play the clock out, and the officials were letting them, and that will be it.
That's over. They're going to run the clock down. And Canada wins it by a final score of 7-4. Happy New Year, Canada. 4-0, heading for the quarterfinals at the World Junior Championship. And for the Finns, a third-place finish will put them in against the United States in a quarterfinal game in St. Paul on Friday afternoon.
Good response by Carter George to close the game out. Made the saves late, and he had to make.
We'll get the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian national anthem. If it's anyone but Baudouin, the player of the game is chosen by the team's management.
Great night for him and his line. All three of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best
Fingerprints
players
all
in
over
each
this
team
game.
will now be awarded with a Faribault Mill blanket featuring the Land of 10,000 Rinks mural, specially commissioned for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship. Designed by Minnesota-based Indigenous artist Shauna Boulay Grapentine as part of the Assist 26 Community Initiative, the artwork honors the Indigenous lands, cultural teachings, and deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. The prizes will now be presented by Brody Grants, representative of Sports Engine, one of our proud partners for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship. The best player of Team Finland, number 38, Oliver Savanto.
Savanto, the highly rated Finnish prospect, 17-year-old, considered by most to be a top 10 prospect for the draft.
I like this pick. I was saying he's noticeable and physically strong player for a young one.
The best player of Team Canada, number 26, Cole Baudouin.
Two goals and assists for Baudouin tonight.
Rise for the national anthem of Canada.
And if you weren't sure, there were a lot of Winnipeg Jets fans in here. You heard it during that national anthem. This is really the first time at this tournament it's felt like a real Canada game at the World Juniors. The crowd not full, but way bigger than before. Crazy atmosphere, crazy game, and Canada with two brilliant periods, the second and the third, to finish 4-0 and grab the top seed in Group B.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet